Welcome back. Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. And thank you so much for staying with us. Before we get into conversations this morning, of course, you know we have to bring you the photo of the day. Yes, the photo of the day is courtesy Kimberly Narayan Gavaya. And can you guess where this photo was taken? Of course, when we come back from the first break, you will tell us. In the meantime, we will tell you. In the meantime, you can leave your comments on our Facebook live stream or on our YouTube channel. You can even WhatsApp in the answer on 284-6597. Photo of the day courtesy Kimberly Narayan Gavaya. All right, so we begin conversations this morning, and in studio with me I have Inspector Marvin Campbell of the TTPS, and as usual bringing the TTPS updates for us about things happening here on the island of Tobago. Good morning and welcome.
Pleasant good morning to you, ma'am. Good morning to your viewership. I'm Inspector Marvin Campbell. I am attached to the cotton process section of the TTPS.
Right. And so, you know, it's always a pleasure having TTPS on the set with us. This is where we get some information as to things relating to what is happening on the ground in Tobago. Last week might have been a little quiet, but in terms of cases you might have on the books that, you know, we want to know where we are, you know, where we are with certain things.
Right. Well, you know, we have the ongoing state of emergency, and to that end, the TTPS in Tobago, we have undertaken a number of operations throughout the islands, some known, some unknown. And of course, we have made some arrests over the weekend, although I am not certain, I cannot give you the numbers now. I will only be able to give you a more definite number when I go to the office, because that's when all the charge cases will normally come to us, so we can be able to decipher. But what I can say is that the SOE is ongoing, and the TTPS in Tobago, we are making headway, ma'am. We are making a lot of headway in terms of getting ammunition, firearms off the streets, so forth. We're detecting traffic offenses. Roadblocks are being carried out throughout the island. So we are making an effort to make the Tobago space that much safer.
And talking about the SOE, with the introduction of the SOE, have you seen more intelligence coming to you guys? Are you getting more cooperation with other agencies, even communities, people calling in to give you any type of intelligence to help effect the exercises that you are conducting?
Yes, ma'am. We have been getting information from the communities throughout Tobago. Now, that is the unique thing about Tobago. Tobagonians are always willing to assist the police by and large. So we don't have the issue that Trinidad might have, where people withhold information. The Tobagonians, they want to secure their space, so they always give the police information, and we are grateful to the members of the community, the Tobago population as a whole, for continuing to work with the TTPS to make this space that much safer. Yes.
Right. Very, very good. And I do hope that as you continue, you know, in the fight against crime, I know just last week or the week before, I saw a greater presence of police in the Scarborough area, especially just by the port, by KFC area there.
Yes,
I saw vehicles there. And I'm wondering, I'm hoping, will there be more presence? Will we be seeing more police officers strategically positioned in and around, not just in Scarborough area, but areas that you might consider a hotspot or area of interest? Would we be seeing more of that happening in the coming days?
Ma'am, you will. Without giving too much information to the other side, we have a certain operational plan in place that will see us locking down certain hotspots in and around the Scarborough area and environs.
Right.
Yes,
well, we
please.
look forward to that, because of course we want Tobago to remain as peaceful as it is, and of course commendations to the TTPS and the communities of Tobago who are coming forward to assist the TTPS in bringing whatever intelligence that you can. Remember, it takes a village, and the village has to come together to help. If you see something, say something, because at the end of the day, I live here, you live here, your children live here, and we want to live in a peaceable kind of manner where everybody is safe and comfortable.
Indeed.
Right.
But, before you go on, I just want to special congratulations to the Tobago Homicide Bureau. Now, as you may or may not be aware, so far for the year we have had 2 reported homicides. The young master who attended Signal Hill, who was shot, and the other individual who was set on fire. Now, to that end, I am proud to see that the Homicide Bureau Tobago, they have conducted investigations, and both of those homicides have been solved, and we have persons presently before the court for those homicides. So in terms of solve rate, Tobago is leading the nation with a 100% solve rate. And I think that, and the information to solve these murders came from, again, the members of the public. Without that information, we would not have been able to solve those two homicides. So I would like to say congratulations to the Homicide Bureau, and by extension, a hearty thanks for the members of the public who came forward and who provided certain information to the police.
And not just that, in the quick time, because I mean, I was a little bit surprised to say, wow, we have arrested, we have the information, and persons have been charged, the cases have been solved. So, you know, commendations, I agree with you, commendations there.
Tobago is number one.
To Tobago and also to the TTPS as well. You know, before we get into the what to know about an arrest, we're in the Carnival season.
Yes, ma'am.
And there are so many things happening in the space. We have we have events, we have all types of activities happening on the island of Tobago. How is the TTPS positioned in terms of ensuring we have a safe season and that people can be rest assured that, you know, they have eyes on them that will keep them safe?
Well, we have a slogan in the TTPS, you party while we have your back. To that end, the Tobago would be reinforced during the Carnival season with personnel from Trinidad to provide security to all the fetes and other activities throughout the Tobago space, and also during the Carnival period itself. So in terms of security, you will observe an increased number of police on the ground leading up to Carnival. Other thing I would like to inform the public, there is a no glass bottle law for Carnival. You will not be allowed to carry glass bottle where Carnival events are being held. To that end, we would love the public to cooperate with us. You can get your styrofoam cups, your plastic cups, no glass bottles, because we wouldn't want people being injured because bottles are being thrown, or somebody will break a bottle to stab somebody. So, and we will enforce that vigorously, because we want Carnival. Carnival last year was fairly incident-free. We intend to have that record move along, ma'am. So.
And you know, it amazes me that if you're going to an event to have a good time, how something could be weaponized, like you have a glass bottle and you turn it into a weapon. So I appreciate the fact that, you know, no glass bottles, that's the policy for Carnival here on the island of Tobago. No glass, and Trinidad. No glass bottles for events where Carnival is concerned. So let's just keep that under wraps and ensure that we abide by the policies that have been implemented and work together with the TTPS to have a safe season. Of course, we have a hot topic coming up next. We're going to be talking about what to know about a warrant. But before we get into that, we're going to go for a short break. And when we come back from the break, we're going to be talking about two things: what to expect from a warrant and the photo of the day. Were you able to guess it? But in the meantime, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. Did you guess it, the photo of the day? Did you guess where that photo was taken from? That photo, I'm being told, is in the vicinity of the Tobago Beach. Yes, Tobago Beach, and of course, photo courtesy Kimberly Narayan Govaya. I hope you guessed it. Tobago is indeed a beautiful, beautiful space, and we say thank you, Kimberly, for that photo this morning. All right, so we continue conversations here in studio, and with me, I have Inspector Marvin Campbell. Just before we went to the break, we were talking about Carnival, and offset, he was telling me about another thing that you need to look out for during the Carnival season.
Yes, viewership, I will have to caution you that the breathalyzers will be out in force. Breathalyzer technicians will be out in force. So I would advise you that if you must drink alcohol, please do not drive, because the breathalyzers will be there. Get a designated driver, and you can drink as much as you want. Right?
But Inspector, why don't you tell them what you told me when we were offset? Inspector said, if you want to drive, you have to drink Vitamols. but
there are lots of non-alcoholic beverages you can drink in a party. You could drink a shandy is
not
non-alcoholic.
Carnival, not the revelers. You know, they like to have their alcohol. So, of course, wise counsel come in here, ensure
Yes.
that you have a designated driver. And even if you are drinking, do not drink to the level of being so intoxicated that you don't know your own self. You know, those things are, you don't want to be in that type of position at all. So ensure that you are responsible and you do have a designated driver and a good crew to tell you, hey, enough is enough, time for you to drink some water.
Or call TT Ride Share, they will be glad to carry you home. Yes.
That's right, that's right. Right, so we're shifting gears a little bit now and we're talking about what we need to know about a warrant. A very, very interesting topic and conversation. And I know with the introduction of the SOE, the warrant has become, you know, in this period, obsolete. You don't really need it right now. In as much, well,
it's not 100% necessary.
Right. So you can still effect your exercises in terms of entering premises and properties without a warrant. But barring that, the SOE out of it, what do we need to know about a warrant, and how do we, as a person, if you're coming to my home, God forbid, with a warrant, what are the things I need to know to allow you access into my house?
Right. Now, firstly, a warrant is a document that is issued by a court of competent authority to execute a certain operation. There are many different types of warrants. There are no general warrants. We have for example, a first instance warrant. That's a warrant that the police normally will get when they need to go to arrest someone for an offense. Yes? So that's a first instance warrant. Then we have the favorite warrant in Trinidad and Tobago, affiliation warrant, also known as maintenance warrant. That is a warrant issued to the court where defaulters have defaulted on paying maintenance, and the court will issue a warrant for the defaulter to either pay the warrant when the warrant is executed or be arrested and taken to a certain place to spend between 14 to 28 days. There are other types of warrants, and also, most importantly, the topic of the day, search warrants, very important. The search warrant is issued where basically the police have reason to suspect that a person has illegal items in their house, firearms, narcotics. So they will go to a judge or a master and obtain a warrant, and the warrant now gives the police the power to enter the property of the person named on the warrant to carry out the search for the narcotic or the firearm that they suspect might be in that home or premises. Now, having had the warrant in your possession, what you can expect as a citizen if a warrant, let's say a search warrant, is to be executed on you, you as the person. Now, when the police come, the police must inform you. Firstly, they must show you that they have the warrant in their possession. They'll hold up the piece of paper, say, look, this is the warrant. Your name, John Brown, is on it. And with the warrant, we are here to search your property for X, Y, or Z. You must be told that. That is part of what we call executing the warrant. The warrant must be shown to you, and they must actually read the warrant to you, that we are of the belief that you have firearms in your house, and we come to search. Having executed that warrant on you, the respondent, you now have to give the police the permission. Well, not the permission, but you must give your cooperation and have the police enter your property and carry out the search. Now, you must be present during the search. You don't stay outside and have the police enter your home and search, because allegations will be made.
Right.
So, and the police will advise you that, ma'am or sir, we are going to search. We will invite you to come and observe the process so that it could be fair and free. Yes? Now, if you refuse to cooperate after that warrant has been executed, the warrant itself now gives the police permission to use force to enter your home. Once you refuse at that point, the police can now use force to execute the warrant, because as I indicated, the warrant is actually an order from the court giving the police instructions to do something, to search or to hold somebody. Yes? So the police could now pull out a louvers from your window, kick in your front door, as the case may be.
Right.
And the warrant is what will give them that power.
And if in the instance where the person is uncooperative and you have to do that, break in the door, the window to gain access into the premises, right? And the individual is in there, do you arrest the person while this is happening? Are they still a part of are they still observing the search? How does that work now if the person is not cooperating?
They still have to observe the search because the warrant now give the police the power to search. That's what the warrant is for.
But what if they refuse to, what if they put up some type of resistance, like a physical type of resistance? How does that work?
Well, then there is obstruction. So they could be arrested for that. Okay. Obstructing the police in the execution of their duty, because executing warrant is a part of police duty. And once you obstruct an officer, you can be arrested for that.
Right. And if for instance, you say you have to read the warrants to the person.
Yes, ma'am.
And what if, you know, how it, you know, let's say for instance the person is guilty or might be anxious or afraid or scared or worried that there might be something there, whether they have it there or their child or somebody has it in their home, so they're thinking maybe there might be something here, and they say, let me see that warrant, right? Do you put the warrant in the hands of the respondent for them to read, or is it that the police must read it? Because I know in some instances, and mostly watching television, right, you see what people do with warrants. They try to destroy them before you are able to execute it. So how do you manage that situation?
Well, we try as much as possible to avoid giving the person the warrant in the actual hand. We will show it to you. Say, well, look, this is the warrant, and we'll show you at a distance where you should be able to see it and read it if you want. And then we, the police, now we will read that warrant to you. Now, as you indicated, the reason we do not normally give persons warrants in their hands is because you might go to a man's home, yeah, officer, no problem. Officer could see the warrant and just read it. And you make the mistake and hand that warrant to that man, and he run through the bedroom, jump out a window, and he gone with the court warrant, the government warrant, or he tear it up. Of course, that is an offense as well, but the point is, you try to avoid that initially. Now, for AJIPA is different. When you go now under the new AJIPA rules, you have to provide a copy of the warrant to the person. They must be given a copy in their hand. You have in the original, but they have a copy, a photocopy.
Right.
Yeah? So at least they could see now, well, yes, this is the warrant, there's the court stamp on it. So the warrant is a legitimate document.
Very interesting information coming, you know, because as I said, most people, we look at television and you see how they do it there, and just to have the actual information now in terms of how it is executed. And when the warrant is being executed at the person's premises, what are their rights in this regard? I mean, I know they have to observe, but what are the other rights in terms of allowing the police to enter their property and do the search?
Well, apart from observing the process as it is, all of their fundamental rights are still entrenched. You know, the search must be fair and free. In other words, everything the police is doing, the person must have visibility of that. So if you're going into a room, the respondent has to enter that room too and observe what the police officer is doing. Because I have seen on many occasions where police would have gone to homes, carried out search, and leave. And after they leave, the person will call the media house and say, well, look, I had $9,000 in a shoebox, and the police take it. That is the reason why we ask the persons as much as possible to observe, because allegations will be made after.
And let me ask this, right? The respondents on the warrant, if there are other people in the home or the house or the premises, when you go there, are they also allowed to observe, or is it primarily just the respondents?
Primarily just the respondent, the person named on the warrant. If there's another adult at the home, for instance, a husband and a wife team, but the husband's name is on the warrant, the wife is free to observe as well.
And in the
No issue.
instance where, how do I phrase this? In the instance where the respondent or the person of interest is a minor, you suspect a minor might be involved in a situation where they might have something in their parents' home. Who is the respondent in this case? Whose name goes on the warrant?
Well, always the respondent, but in case of minor, they must put a parent.
Okay.
Right? Because the search now will be carried out with the minor in the presence of an adult guardian or parent. And if the parent is not home, you cannot go there and search.
Ah, so if when you go to execute the warrant, it's just the child, it's kind of unfortunate that the child alone will be home. But if you go there and there's no adults, then you can't execute that warrant.
No, ma'am.
Ah, so you see, you must have to take the information.
Let me say we go and something is found now. It could create a legal issue.
Right.
Because no parent was present during the search, and an allegation will be made.
Right.
Because children are very well protected under the law. Very, very well protected. You cannot interview a child without a guardian or a parent or an adult person who is comfortable with present.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was a lot, even for me, getting that information in terms of what you need to know about a warrant, to execute a warrant, who is protecting your rights, and, how the procedure is done there. I want to say thank you so much for coming this morning and bringing that information. But in closing, is there any additional information you'd like to share with our viewers?
Yes. Now, mention was made earlier of that young master who is missing. I would like members of the public, if you have any information concerning that young master, feel free to call any police station in your district or pass that information on to any police officer. Because when youths go missing, it's a worry for the police.
Especially young men,
Young men.
It's yeah. So we join with the TTPS, and we do hope that, we can get some information out there where that is concerned, and that the people of Tobago will come forward and give that measure of information. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Inspector Marvin Campbell of the TTPS, bringing us the crime updates here on the island of Tobago, and also letting us know what to look for when a warrant is being executed, whether it's on you, your neighbor, somebody that you might know, what to do, what to expect, what to ask, and how to present yourself. We have to go for a short break, but before we go, there's a photo back in the day, Tobago back in the day. Do you know where this photo was taken? Back in the day, right here in Tobago. Right, and I do hope that you can figure this out. But when we come back from the break, of course, we'll reveal to you where this photo was taken. Before we go to the break, up next is Jaleese, or she's already in studio, ready to have the conversation. Yes, as she heads into that Calypso competition, she'll be here on set with me this morning to go through the conversation, the paces this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, before that, we have to go for a short break. And in the meantime, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Put a smile on your face.